Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today I'm going to show you a brand new product from Vexed. This thing is, I've never seen anything like this on the market, and I think it's so smart. It's such a bloody good idea. It works, it catches fish, I can tell you that. And I don't think any of you guys have seen anything like this on the market before. So let's get straight into it. We're with Willie, the creator of Vexed, and he's going to run you through this brand new product, and stick along for this one, guys, because it is really, really smart. So,
hey guys, I'm going to ask you a question. I'm going to tell you the answer. The question is, do you guys have a fat box full of jig heads in your shed that are doing nothing at home? I reckon you probably do. We've probably got more of these than what we'd need to have. And you know, the ones you collect over the years, like look at these little old school TTs there. I got the new school TTs, my favorite, which are the bait junkies. I've got Vexed heads, which I've designed specifically to fit these. I've got Berkeley's, I've got all sorts of owners, whatever you want to call them. I've got every single jig head, and I've got about 5 times this many. So look at this dirty big fat box full of big fat jig heads for the deeper water, all this sort of stuff. Okay, well, all I'm about to show you, I've designed something that's like a merkin that you can slip straight over your shaft of all of these jig heads, and you're fishing with a buckaboo. What's a buckaboo? Someone give me a buckaboo. Hand me one. Oh, that's a buckaboo. Okay, so that there was the #1 selling flats lure for the Swan River last summer. It's the cheapest lure on the market, funny enough, but it's the most effective flathead catching lure because you can throw it out into the wind, it hits the bottom, and you can follow the contour all the way back to the rod tip. Unlike a hard body, which will hit the surface and it's not in the strike zone, then it'll come down to the bottom, strike zone, strike zone, strike zone, and then back out of the strike zone. A lead head jig, you can bump it in their face, it's blowy resistant, and everything likes to eat it. It does look a bit boring, looks a bit, you know, a bit boring. It's not the fanciest looking thing, but I'm telling you, it is the most effective way to catch flathead when there's blowfish around tearing up your plastics. Here, have that back. All right, so back to my sliding one on the shaft. So these are all the jig heads I have in my shed. Not all of them, but some of them. And I'm gonna show you what a jig wig is. So this here is a jig wig, okay? So what it is, it's a wig for your jig. So I'm going to tear one of these out. Not very good at this, but I'll just do that. All right, what colour? Pink for Luke, his favourite colour dress, so we'll get his favourite colour skirt as well. Okay, that's it, that's a jig wig. It's simple. What is it?
it's a wig for your jig.
Yeah, I know, I told you that. So it's just a silicone tube, which is a little bit flexible. All right, it's the right diameter for most of the jigs in that box. But I've got 3 different diameters and a bunch of different sizes that'll fit every single small jig that you have. Where's my little ones? Anyway, here it is. So look, can you see that? 3 mil, 4 mil, and 5 mil. So every single jig head in here, these little guys here, will hit a 3 mil. It's not about the size of the jig head, it's about the size of the hook keeper. That's what I had to design that correctly to fit the hook keeper. So that one there is too big for that. It'll rattle around like Luke does. So it'll rattle around a bit, okay? You don't get any traction in there. So basically this one here is the correct size for these little tiny, I'll show you these little tiny hook keepers here. So the bait junkie is the best hook keeper on earth, okay? And that there, once you put one on that, it's not really removable, it's a permanent fixture. Okay, so basically, I'll show you how it works. That's the 4 mil. Let's get, what's this one? A TT, pretty popular. That, you reckon that's going to be about the right size? Mm-hmm. I reckon it will. Okay, actually, I'm going to get something a little bit bigger for that one because this is slightly longer. So I'm going to tear open a packet of, what have we got in here? We've got some bait junkies in here. Do you reckon we tear one of these open? That's going to be a little bit too... No, we'll go back to this one. Here, give me this. Righty. So that there is a 7 gram Vexed head. Okay, so it just goes on there like that. Now, some of them are really tight and some of them are a little bit looser. But if they're a bit loose in this sort of section here, if it fits loose, you can get bait thread or elastic cotton and give it a bit of a whip around. But if it's a little bit tight, you can use pliers to squeeze that down. Just don't heat them up with a lighter. So then you can just thumb it on. You just keep thumbing it on and thumbing it on. And there we go. There's my wig. That's on, that ain't coming off. So now you have a removable buckaboo jig basically. So that buckaboo jig I showed you before, it's the same sort of carry-on, but I can take that on and off. So if the current slows down, I can swap that 7 gram vexed head for a 5 gram vexed head. If you've had enough of that and you want to go back to your old faithful bait junkie, I can squeeze one on the bait junkie. Let's just quickly squeeze one on here. Luke will wrap me up in a second and tell me I'm a Googan, but let's just rip one out. Okay, so the Googan next to you is using a blue one. He catches a dirty big flathead and you think that you have to join the party. I can whack a blue one out of the packet here and I can squeeze that on. Bait junkie, all right. She's going on and she's not coming back off. See that hook there? I'll go nice and slow. And then we're on. So that ain't coming back off, all right? That's like a squidging up your noggin funnel. That's not coming back out, right? So, but it's cool. Now what's gonna happen is the blowfish, which we get in Western Australia, they'll bite this a bit, but they're not gonna get much off it, so they'll give up on it. A soft plastic, which are fantastic, blowfish bite it and they get bits off it, so they persist with biting it, and they'll follow it all the way back to your rod tip, which puts off flathead and flounder and other fish that are they don't want don't want all the hoo-ha of a big ball of blowies behind your bait. So they'll give up on that, and then it gives the flathead and flounder a little bit more of a chance to get the bait. So you can actually throw that out and crank it back fast as well and catch tailor, herring, queenies and trevally up north, salmon, dolphin fish love these as well. So it's very simple but very effective. Sizes. I'll get this out of the way. Sizes, again, I've showed you the tube sizes. So I've basically just done a series of different sizes in the actual wig itself as well. So there's long ones for bigger jig heads and short ones for smaller jig heads. So I'm not going to get too far into that, but that's your itty bitty one. So that's about 5 centimeters, I think, somewhere around there. And this one here is 11 centimeters, but you can always trim a bit off if you don't want it so long. So a longer one will give you a bit more action, but you'll probably miss a few hits if there's little fish biting on the end, so you can trim them down if you want to. So now in colors, I've done all of those colors that I've just showed you then, like the blue and the chartreuse. There's red, all the colors you get in buckaboo jigs. I'm not going to rattle on too long about that, but all your favorite colors are there. But I've also made some multi-packs. So I've done a high visibility multi-pack in all the sizes, a natural sort of color multi-pack, and I've done the these ones here are no rubber. So no rubber, so a bit more of a bait fish profile. It'll slick back into a nice little bait fish profile, and there's no rubber. But I found the rubber, it really does give you that extra little bit of movement and a bit more body. So it's up to you which one you like, whether you like the traditional, these are called traditional without the rubber, or the new P. Willie style one with rubber. So basically these here you can take on and off, just give them a little wash once you're done, and then you can use that over and over and over. So it is quite a hardy product. The price of them, oh guys, how much are these?
$13.99.
So $13.99, it's pretty good value. You're getting 5 lures there, so it's less than the price of some hard bodies on the market, and you're getting 5 wigs. I think the multicolour packs are probably going to be more popular, but chartreuse and white are the most popular 2 colours in buckaboo jigs, so I reckon these will be up there as well in terms of sales. So that's it, guys, with this particular product. They're all available now, and we're going to have enough product for the whole summer. So if you're going to go down the river and go for flathead and flounder, give them a bell, but just remember these are going to be fantastic for all saltwater species of fish. Just crank them out, throw them out and crank them back. giant herring, tailor, salmon, trevally, queenfish, herring, all of that sort of stuff. You'll battle to find a lure that will outfish this simple looking little device. So if you didn't think the Buckaboo jig wig was fancy enough for you, we've created something just a little bit specialer, just the cherry on top. And that is introducing the Vexed Chovy. Yep, I'm going to lay you down in a bed of flathead. These things here are just these are all hand tied. Each one of these is a work of art. Look at that white bait. So basically I've done the same concept because I think the concept's so cool in a fancier looking model that's going to be available in a 1-pack, not a 5-pack. And you should see these when they get a little bit of liquid on them. When they get wet, I'm just going to teabag this in here. Okay, you watch how this slicks back. All right, and I'm going to go frack the bunt now. You watch this. Bait fish profile. You ready for a bait fish profile? Oh my lord, get a blue sardine out of the fridge. That there is a blue sardine. You can't get any more lifelike than that. And it pulses. It just pulses like Luke in the bathtub. It just, when you give it a flick, it actually pulses, right? And it's just so cool. The other good thing about it is, you get a really good hookup rate on that because there's nothing interfering with that hook. You got a nice, when the fish bites down on that, it's basically just nothing. So you get a really good proud hookup rate. And then once you're done, you can dry them off and you can use them over and over again. Now that one there is a 5mm shaft. I've got it on a bait junkie head. If you put it on a bait junkie head, as I said with the Buckaboo jig wig, they're pretty much a permanent fixture. But look at that little tube there. That little tube is just waiting to be threaded on one of the jig heads you have in your box. Now I'll just show you quickly, if I haven't done it already. This one here, this will fit a 4mm. This is a Vexed 28 gram, it'll fit a 4mm. So that one's 5mm, but I'll just show you how it's going to rattle around. This won't be adequate for that there. See how I'll push it on? Oh, actually it's going to go. Actually that's good, yeah. So that's on, she's good. That's how easy it is. And if I'm casting that, all of a sudden I move to a different area or the current slows down, I don't need that much weight. I just basically give it a push. Okay, and then just work it off like that. Then I can put it onto something like that one, right? I can thread it on there. Or if you want, you can get your box of tricks out. Hey, yeah, Mummy said no. And you can thread it on that size. Or if you want it to look really cool, you can get a Vex head like that. And you can thread her on there. Imagine how nice that's going to look. So the concept's the same as the Buckaboo jig wig. The colours, I've done what's that called? This is white bait, this one here, I love that one. The most popular one, of course, is going to be white. That one there, they're full of flash as well. So they're going to flash like a beauty. There is pilly pink guts. There is chartreuse. For all the fly lovers out there, and there's pink. Now talking about fly, I've also been messing around with these by, with the 3mm one, actually threading it onto a fly hook with a bead head or a lead eye, and you can actually just use them as your own fly. If you haven't got the time to sit on your butt and tie a fly all the night, if you're actually having a life, like out partying, chasing women and that sort of stuff, or guys, you can just not have to sit there and tie flies all bloody night. You can just thread one of these on, and I'm telling you, they are of the best fly quality you've ever seen. Right, so sizes, again, the same. 3mm, little tiny 3mm for your little tiny 1/20th through to about 1/8, depending on the brand. Next, 4mm, that's for the vast range of what is in this box here will fit 4mm. So what is in there, probably more than, probably 2/3 of them will fit 4mm. And then your dirty big 5mm tube for your big fat heads or fat hook keepers. So something over a 2/0 hook up to sort of an ounce. So I haven't got any to fit real big jig heads yet, but you just wait, they're coming. So give me another 6 months and I'll have a big tube. Again guys, the type of fish you catch on these is anything you can catch on a fly or a stick bait or a plastic of that size. I know it's new, it's foreign, it might be messing with your head a little bit. You just got to have an open mind, and I'm telling you, these things are gonna hunt. And this is, Vexed don't just do their version of a lure, we create new concepts. Not just lures, we create categories, and this is a new category, guys. The Vexed Chovy. All right, I've had enough of you guys now. Do you want to show them on the, do you want to show your display on the rack? Have you got them up yet, boys? Oh, I haven't even got them up. What's going on?
All right, guys, that's the all new Vexed Jig Wig system. You can find all of these, the full range, at tacklewest.com.au. That's the only place you'll find the full range. Get on there now, give them a shot, and hopefully catch some fish with them.